Look at that. Definitely on the goal.
Hey, Jason, it's been a while. Energy, passion.
I'm ready.
I know. Welcome everybody to the Chris Undertaking live show with twin brothers, Chris and Jason. If you ain't digging,
And you ain't living.
who do we have on the show today? I'm excited about this.
We've got someone special. Our next guest is my nephew and son of Chris. Some might call him a gold prodigy. Some might call him an adventure seeker. Some might say he only goes for the McDonald's. But one thing is for sure. Today we will get some behind the scenes tea of content creation and what it's like to be the son of a military man. Let me introduce the one, the only, Lucca!
Hey!
Hey!
Whose house are you in?
Your house.
You just went quiet. Whose house are you in right now, Lucca?
Yours.
He's in his room
my
right
house.
now.
My house.
I was gonna say you're supposed to own it. My house, man. What you talking about?
You look good, Lucca. You look like you're ready for this. I'm excited to interview you.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah. So I'm excited. We got some good topics today. We're going to be talking about growing up as a military kid because you are one, and you have to go through those adventures every 2 to 3 years, moving to many places from California to Hawaii to Washington, but you weren't alive for some of those because you weren't born yet. And then now Australia overseas. So we're going to talk about that. We're going to also talk about gold prospecting. You as a gold prodigy, finding gold everywhere. And then lastly, we're going to talk about some of the scary adventures that we've had together while gold prospecting. And then we're going to finish it off with the taste test with our crush and flush segment. And we're doing lamingtons, correct, Lucca?
No, it's lamingtons.
Lamingtons. Got it.
Lamingtons.
Okay. It's an Australian thing. It's one of his favorite desserts, isn't it? Fantastic. All right. We're going to
followed by a short quiz at the end. I just wanted to plug that. There will be a quiz for you, Lucca. Just know.
And it's like Oprah. So if you get all of them right, you get a car, and so does everybody else.
Yep. So you're going to want to tune in for this.
All right. Fantastic. So segment 1. Let's talk about being a military kid, Lucca. All right. So our most recent move, we're in Australia now. So how was that for you, knowing and finding out that, hey, you're going to have to move across the world overseas to Australia? Tell us about it.
It was very surprising because like we're moving across the seas to go to Australia, and I was like really surprised because I was like, that's so far from, that's like one of our biggest trips. I was like, oh my gosh, that's crazy. And just moving over here, I just started thinking about it. I was like, what's it going to be like here? What kind of different animals are we going to see? And like how different the schools are going to be and everything that's going to be different.
I was going to say. So what are some of the differences in school? What do you notice about school that's different so far?
Well, in America, we have our cafeterias and we have to like eat what they give us.
Yeah.
But in Australia, you can like, if you have a certain amount of money or whatever for lunch orders, you can choose what you want.
Oh,
and
wow.
you can eat that, and it's like you actually have a choice to eat what you want.
Nice. So selection. I like it.
1 point goes to Australia for that.
I was gonna say, and then what about sport? Right, sport. They call it sport here. It's really highly encouraged everywhere, right? And a lot of kids are not even in school during school. They're not in class during school. They're actually playing sport all the time. Is that correct?
Yes, and I love that because I'm really into sports. So it's like Australia is my place. They know me really well.
I was going to say, that's too funny. All right, so now that you've moved to Australia, what are some of the cool things you've seen? Kangaroos, koalas maybe, or different foods you've tried?
Well, because their zoos are way different. They actually have like kangaroos that are out, and you can like pet them and feed them. And then usually in America, if you go to a zoo, there's no animals out. But like in Australia, they have our kangaroos bouncing around, going everywhere. You can just pet them out of the
That was amazing. Nowhere. So just so the viewers understand, we just did this huge trip to Ballarat, which was a 10-hour drive. And we were doing a whole gold prospecting trip, and we'll talk about that in a little bit. But we stopped at the Ballarat Wildlife Park and actually posted a shorts video about it. And the cool thing is you walked in, right? And we saw meerkats right away. And then as soon as you looked off to the right, there's 100 kangaroos just all hanging out, all amongst the people. There's
Wow.
You got babies hopping into pouches. You get to feed them, you get to pet them, and they're super friendly. And
I was gonna say because kangaroos get a reputation for being a little violent,
yeah,
or can be. So they don't give you any sort
kangaroos?
of pep talk on this, or is it kind of
No.
just at your own discretion?
At your own discretion. They have signs on what to do and not to do, with the
Right.
next, like, don't do this, type
Don't
thing.
punch them.
Yeah, don't punch them. Don't
Hmm.
try to stir fight. But most of them are actually very docile because I think they're just used to being kangaroos.
Yeah,
So
yeah,
they're
yeah.
used to
Being
people
fed
and their
and whatever.
and interactions. Because we actually ran into a couple kangaroos this last weekend when we were gold prospecting, remember? And they scattered quickly. They just took off. They don't want anything to do with us, as opposed to the zoo ones were like, feed me. So it was definitely cool. So, and then what about some of the foods that you've now taken on while you've been here?
Definitely Tim Tams.
Okay, I've tried
Oh,
those.
good.
Very good.
Spiders.
Yes.
Spiders?
Yeah.
Like eating
So
live spiders?
no. So basically,
Oh,
in America, you know how we have root beer floats?
yeah.
Well, in Australia, they call it spiders.
Oh, and that's a root beer float?
Yeah, but instead it's not root beer. It's a bunch of other drinks that you just put in.
So they do like
Okay.
more of a cream soda, from what I
Yeah.
understand. Trust me, I had the same reaction. He's like, "Let's do spiders tonight." And I was like, "Dude, come on, man! Like, we're not eating spiders, you know." And it was funny
Yeah.
because Chloe didn't freak either, and she had known what it was. So I was like, "There's some weird stuff going on in my house right now,"
Yeah.
Transition, and it ends up they just call it spiders. So it was a
Okay.
little
I
shock
like
and
it.
awe. So
Yeah.
I also like Toasties.
what are
Okay.
toasties? Explain
That a
toasties
cereal?
comparison. Yeah.
So Toasties are like, it's basically like a grilled cheese, but instead it's like ham and a bunch of other stuff you can put onto it.
Okay. Sounds good.
Personally, I like ham and cheese Toasties. It's my
Okay.
favorite.
Okay.
And yeah, so it's basically just grilled cheese, but instead I don't know what it's called, but they put it in this thing and they make it and it tastes better. I
Mm-hmm.
don't know what it is, but they make it in a certain way.
Yeah.
It's like one of
Okay.
the grill things that you kind of
Yeah.
close
Yeah,
together.
like a panini kind of
Yeah, it's a
maker.
panini
Yeah.
press. It's basically a
Yeah.
panini press. That's what it is.
Yeah.
Yes. I couldn't think of the name. I was sitting there
Yeah.
struggling.
Sounds good though.
Yeah. Hey, so we got
Toasties. Okay.
Luca, we got Job here who just chimed in. He says, "Luca the legend. Good day, mate. You love your gold, yes, but do you love the photography side of it as well?"
Yes, I like it because really when I'm doing it, I get to like take photos from different angles and everything. And you really can see the whole picture of everything.
Yeah.
Right. It's like a
Like-
different aspect and kind of getting
Yes.
involved in the whole process, right? And doing the filming, the photography, and kind of learning shots, because I know we've talked a lot, you and I, like when we do shots and we look at it afterwards, sometimes you rush it sometimes because you're not, like it's just learning how to use a camera where you're like, you don't want to be shaking and moving around, trying to get everybody sick and everything like that. So just learning like stability and kind of getting the shot enough to kind of build that picture. And you've been grasping it a lot lately. I just hand you the camera, and now other kids are asking you, "Can I film too?" And then we're like, no, bro. We got expectations and standards.
Yeah, we got standards. Hey, Hardeep Singh says Australia seems like a good place for school. I think you'd agree with that, huh, Luca?
Yes.
Yeah.
Well, it's a year long, which is different from America too.
Oh, right.
It's year long, and then we get school breaks. So actually, the reason why Luca's here is because we didn't pull him out of school. Is he's actually on school break. So this is his second week on school break right now. So they do quarters. So they do 4 quarters a year. Basically 3 months, and then they get a 2-week vacation.
Oh, I
and they
kind of
call
like
it-
that.
Yeah, they do school holidays, and then during Christmas they'll get
A week?
6 weeks.
6 weeks.
So they get 6 weeks, basically the week of Christmas to include the New Year, and then all of January. They get all of January, and they go back to school the first week of February.
Ooh, I like this.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Well, and the thing too
Yeah.
is you have to kind of think about, our holiday. We're different over here, right? So
So
during
summer is
Christmas, it's
basically
summer.
oh, right,
Yeah.
right.
So they're getting their 6 week summer.
Yeah.
But what's really nice in Australia is the school breaks are different in each state, because we're in New South Wales, which Sydney is a city in that. But
Yeah.
every state kind of does an overlapping. So Victoria's was a week prior with their 2 weeks. So there was only 1 week overlap with the school holidays with our state. So it
Mhm.
was nice because we went up during that time to Victoria, and we were able to align with their kids' school holidays with Lucca, so that way the kids could get together and hang out on that trip.
That's nice. Luke, are you making friends pretty easily? Like, what's it like? What are the kids like compared to U.S. kids?
Very sporty.
Very sporty. Okay.
Yeah, very sporty. Usually, yeah. So it's very easy to make friends to Australia because everybody's so welcoming, and
Mm-hmm.
they're like, we know you're new, and they're very nice and
Okay.
opening
Good.
to all kind of things, and
Mm-hmm.
they're just really kind and nice, and they're really sporty people.
Yeah. Cool. So you're having a good experience. It sounds like,
Yes.
based on a very big move. That'd be big for an adult. Not that you're not maturing into a wonderful adult, but as a kid, that'd be really tough. Even, I'd have a hard time doing what you're doing. So I'm impressed with you, young man.
Thanks.
I was gonna say meeting new people, and so I was gonna say that's the one benefit I think of being a military kid is the fact that you've had to learn since we move every 2 to 3 years that you can't be an introvert as a military kid if you want to survive the changes, right? You kind of have to be that extrovert. You have to be social because everywhere you go, you have to engage and kind of like start initiating conversations to make new friends, which is very challenging. But we've seen you blossom in that, and everywhere you go you end up meeting a whole bunch of friends and you stay in contact with them, which is super cool.
Yeah.
So he reaches back to people back in Beaumont, different places, and engages
That's
with
awesome,
them
man.
still and have conversations and plays Fortnite.
Well, he's your kid, and that's one of your strengths is making friends and
Yeah,
creating communities. So that's
you
cool.
have a little piece of me in you, Luca. So
Yeah.
all right, so let's talk gold prospecting now that we've done a little bit of being a military kid and moving everywhere around, so gold prospecting. So when did how old were you actually? You're gonna have to kind of remind me on this stuff. Is how old were you when I first took you out? You're like 5 or 6, right? I think 5 or 6.
I was about like 5 when we
Okay.
started gold digging,
Yeah.
cause yeah, I was about 5 when we started going out and digging for gold.
That's right. And we went out to the desert initially, and then that's where we got hooked on it and kind of like the
Mhm.
beauty of the desert. So kind of talk about gold prospecting and how your adventures and the friends you've made, things like that. What do you enjoy about it most?
Well, what I enjoy about digging for gold is that you make a lot of friends along the way
Hmm.
because you're meeting a bunch of new people, and then the next thing you know, the next day you're going out with them digging for gold, and then you just find gold everywhere, and it's very surprising. And then like weeks or months later, then you're going back out there with other people, and you're really into it, and you're with other people, so you're communicating with new people,
That's
and it kind of
awesome.
brings it together everything, and it's
Hmm.
just really fun to hang out with people.
Nice. Okay, so we've gone gold prospecting in the desert. We've gone in the woods. So what is one of your favorite things about gold prospecting in the desert?
Um, hmm.
Like, so what comes to my mind is a certain four-wheeled vehicle that you just love to get on and drive and ride around.
Oh, um,
The ATV.
yes, I
So
love that.
talk about that and those adventures where we've gone flying down the desert roads of California desert on an ATV.
Um, I'll say it was pretty fun because usually when like one time I hopped on it with my dad and we were going down, and we found this like weird remember that weird white thing we found on the side
Yeah,
of
it
the
was a
road?
mushroom. It was a mushroom
Yeah,
we saw. Yeah.
some kind of it was really weird when we found it. It was out in the middle of the desert, and
Yeah.
when I'm on there, it's crazy because we find so many stuff. We even found that I think it's caliche, or you
Yeah.
know that area where it's like a bunch of it, just massive rocks with it.
Yeah, we had quartz and caliche. We
Yeah,
found like this
quartz and all
whole
that.
area.
That was
Yeah.
amazing.
Right. And then there was that pumice mine we ran into
Yes.
as well and stuff. So we would just ride out, Jay, and we just go out to the desert and just ride,
Yeah,
and it'd
yeah.
be like with the
Sounds
sun
like a guy's
setting.
dream. Yeah.
Yeah, it was just amazing. We'd ride forever. And then remember actually when we got attacked by all those grasshoppers that were just flying. So literally we're
Yes.
driving and it's like locust season, man. And so
Yeah.
it's literally like the Moses story and the Egyptians and
Yeah.
locusts coming in. It was like that. You're riding, yeah, and you got hit and you're like, close your mouth, like because like oh man, it was brutal. And they actually really hurt. They hurt really bad when they hit you
When
going
they
full
smack
speed.
you.
Yeah, smack you well. So yeah, it was really interesting. All right, so talk about one of your favorite things about gold prospecting in the woods. I know you just did it
Hmm.
this weekend. You built a certain thing. What was it?
Hi, Kim. Hi, Scott. Just want to say hi to you guys.
Oh yeah.
Keep going.
Hi Scott.
Um.
Hi Kim. Hey.
This
Welcome for
week.
joining the channel. You just built a fort, right?
Yes, we did. We built this cool fort and everything, and it was like super fun because like we just kept like grabbing branches and we just built it. It was like wide. We actually sat in there and we were able just to chill there,
Nice.
and it was amazing.
That's awesome, man.
Yeah. So
So do
they're
you collect rocks at all, Luca? I know that when we've hung out before, you kind of are interested in rocks. Do you
Yeah.
still collect rocks, or are you kind of?
Yeah. Still sometimes.
Yeah,
Um.
just curious.
I still have some crystals from
Marissa,
that time
nice.
that this weekend, Dad. I still
Oh,
have some
okay, nice.
crystals that we found.
nice. He does have the crystals from Marissa as well. He
Oh,
has a
that's
whole
cool.
collection in his room.
Yeah,
Yeah.
crystals are awesome, man. So cool. Yeah,
Yeah,
you guys are around a lot of minerals. So
we went crystal hunting. It was the first time I've ever done it. We went with Vogus,
Yeah.
Chris, and Buckshot, Gatsy, and they took us crystal hunting for the first time. Never done it before, didn't know what to look for, and we went to this whole old mine area. It was just interesting because we were finding basically big old quartz veins, stringers in the rocks that went forever, and then you're trying to dig them out and then find these pockets where you get the full size like quartz crystals, and
whoa,
like
yeah,
we
It
found a
was
few.
amazing.
Yeah, it was amazing. We found smoky quartz and a few other things. But then Chris realized when he looked at his map because he's like, "Man, this is not. We're not hitting it like we were before." He realized he took us to the wrong spot, so we went
oh
hiking
no,
into another area. But it was really cool because we went up into a whole bunch of areas. We made a decision as well not to kick down a giant rock. Remember that giant rock, Luca? So this would
Oh
have made
yeah.
an amazing video, but we probably would have gotten in big trouble and we could have killed somebody. But there was the biggest rock I've ever seen sitting on a ledge that had a rock right behind it that was perfectly made for you just to slide down and then push with your legs, and that thing would have just gone down this hill,
yeah,
but it wouldn't have stopped. That's the thing.
right.
That's how big it was, and
Cause
like
some
we're like,
damage.
yeah, it caused some damage. And if there's campers or anybody, it would have been,
Yeah,
it
not
would
good.
not be good. So we resisted the urge to do that.
Because
But
I saw that show on Netflix. I think it's called Opal Hunters, and it was in
yes,
Australia. Yeah.
yeah, it's over here in
So
Perth. So it's on Western
okay.
Australia side. It's actually somewhere I'm going to head over to eventually. It's in Cooper Pedy, they call it.
Okay.
Is where it's at, the famous place. And no, it's definitely something I want to try just because it's very unique. I don't think I'm going to go down into the shafts though, because I'm very claustrophobic. But they have the
Yeah,
outside where you can just knock over walls and you kind of are filtering through stuff.
that's what
So
I'd be doing too. Yeah, I'm not going in shafts.
no,
I've
no,
seen those rock videos of people climbing on there. Yeah, I'm not doing stuff like
nope,
I'm
not
not getting
doing that.
trapped. It's
You
not
need
worth
to
it.
suck in your breath and then
Yeah,
breathe out and then
yeah,
just move an inch. No, I'm not.
yeah. No, no. And they went the wrong way, and the cave filled with water, and yeah, not
Right.
good.
I was
Yeah.
gonna say. And then talk about your adventures with Bentley, buddy. Our good friend Dustin and his son Bentley out in the desert. Did
Oh
some cool
yeah,
stuff.
it was amazing because he brought they were they were guns,
Yeah.
Oh,
Pellets
and
and
cool.
we
BB
were
guns.
BB guns, and we were just it was amazing because we did guns. When we were digging for gold, we go out and explore, and we built rock monuments
Oh yeah.
to
Oh, that's awesome.
mark our area,
Yeah.
Yeah.
and we just because we just go up hills and then we'd see the whole entire desert, and
Mhm.
then we would just see something out there and we were like, whoa, what is that? It's like it's pretty cool what we see and
Right.
what we
Yeah.
find.
No, I remember on that adventure, you guys were actually kind of helping claim our mark our claim by building rock structures everywhere and putting them up and everything. And then you guys went on top of that hill, and we didn't have a flag at the time, but you guys put a giant stick up there to kind of mark our territory, like we were landing on the moon. So you know, it was
Kim says
good.
you'll have to go to Oberon and look for sapphires.
Yes, I've heard of that place. That's near Bathurst, where we end up going. Up there, we just had to make that trip. It's in that same kind of region area.
Oh.
Yeah. So now that we've kind of done, I mean, again, I'm not an expert, so I'd have to get with somebody again. But kind of just experiencing what we've experienced so far with Crystal Honey. It's a lot of fun. It's just something different than sitting there and going for gold. But it is very unique and stuff. And I'm sure, Lucca. Well, we found like some. What, not rubies, but garnets. Before
Mhm.
while we are going, but we didn't really chase them too much just because we didn't know what we were doing at that time. But they're pretty darn cool though. So
Yeah, it's awesome.
that's for sure. All right, Lucca. So you built tree forts. We've adventured in the woods. We've gone to the desert. Talk about our
Driven
recent.
ATVs.
Yeah. So I'm going to talk about our recent trip. So everybody's aware we did a huge road trip up to Australia. Lucca and family, everybody went. So we first stopped in the Beechworth area and met up with Vogus, Chris from the Vogus Prospecting. He's huge in the Australia gold prospecting world, actually in the U.S. too, is well known. And then his buddy, we call him Side Chick Gatsy, with him as well. And so we went crystal hunting with them initially for a day there in Beechworth, and then we moved up and drove up to Ballarat, and then we met up with Dan from Stumpy Picks. We met up with Bart from Golden Triangle Hunter. He basically set up a huge barbecue and metal detect hunt, which was awesome. And then the next day we ended up going to another place up near Ballarat, and we did high banking. And Lucca, you tell them about that drive in to the high banking area and the differences of where we've driven into, and how it was driving into that Australian bush, climbing over possibly trees and a few other things to get to the site.
So when we were going in, there's this massive hill, like a steep hill.
It's like literally straight up.
Yeah, it was just like, it was like this, like basically just like this. And they went right up it. And then there's a massive tree just falling over, just laying there. And then they just drive right over it.
Oh my
Not
God.
even scared of the possibilities.
So we hit these rivets that were probably 4 or 5 feet deep. Like, I mean, they're just, you're gutting it in there. And there's a tree there. And so they brought a chainsaw because they're like, okay, we're going to need to probably cut this apart. Oh, no, we're not cutting it apart. No, that's not the Australian way. We just drive over this thing, because then it keeps other people from going into that spot. So they drove right over, and I was super impressed with their vehicles because, again, they don't have the same vehicles as we do. They don't have even car manufacturers in Australia. So they're like imported, like the truck I was in was a Ford Ranger, but it's almost like equivalent to more of a Toyota Tacoma type size thing. It's a different build, so it's not like our same Ford Ranger and stuff, but they were impressive, man. Those vehicles are definitely made for the off-road.
Yeah, if you're driving over trees, I mean, yeah.
Driving over trees and sharp rocks, it was crazy.
Kim wants to know, did you meet Fern? Who's Fern?
Yes, you met Fern, Lucca.
Oh yeah.
Chris Vogus's dog. His
Okay.
service dog. Yeah, he's got a service dog. Super sweet. She's a little
Bye, Scott.
sweetie pie. Hey, we got Scott, Yosemite's Pan. We got stopping by Kim, and then our mom. Your grandma stopped by, Lucca.
Hi, Mom.
Yeah, so we met Fern. Fern was super sweet. Met her out down at dinner. We went to dinner the night before. Fern didn't go on the adventure with us just because there's a lot of elements out there in the woods, and it can be kind of hard to keep an eye on the kids as well as the dogs, especially out in the wild with all the kind of wombats, snakes, and different things. So, yeah, but it was super cool. All right, Lucca. So let's move on to the scariest things you have experienced. And there's two particular ones we talked about that you wanted to discuss for this. And so we're going to start with numero uno one. I said one multiple times, but here we go. Dun, 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 dun. Oh! What are those,
What
Lucca?
is it?
What is it?
Oh my God! What is that?
It is a tarantula.
A tarantula? So
Yes.
explain what happened with this trip that we saw tarantulas. And not just one, people. Not just two. I can't even count the amount we saw on our fingers. It would take about 100 of us holding up our fingers and hands to count how many tarantulas there were.
They were everywhere. When we were digging at nighttime, they all saw the light and they were just all crawling everywhere.
Yeah,
everywhere.
It was crazy.
So they're like moths to the light, huh?
Yes.
Actually, I don't know if it's so much the light. I think it was the vibrations of the dry washer. So they're nocturnal. So they're nocturnal, right? So they mainly move at nighttime, and that's where they do their hunting, right? And so we were doing night digging in the desert, and we had the dry washers running, and that constant vibration on the floor. I mean, I've never seen tarantulas are not aggressive. They're not at all. They will send you warning. They're not going to jump at you. But dude, they would just come and they were like climbing into the holes like that we were digging and just walking right up to us. Like, I mean, you had your shovel on the ground. They're just walking up the shovel, coming right up it. Like, they're just like, what's going on, guys? And you're like, oh no. Like,
it's either that they were coming to be our bodyguards or they're coming to steal our gold. Probably to steal our gold.
Act like bodyguards and then steal your gold. Yeah.
Probably.
Do you like spiders, Lucca? Are you a big spider guy or?
No.
Not a big spider guy. Okay.
No.
Fair enough. Have you ever had a tarantula on your hand?
No.
Okay.
My dad has had it on his shovel though.
Yes.
Okay.
He held the shovel and I don't know what did you do with it again?
I just put him off to the side. I just let him crawl up on my shoulder for a little bit and kind of just talk to him for a little bit, said some good tidings, and then put him on the ground. And he actually just walked the other direction. So I think he was good. He was like, okay, I'm just checking in, bro. And then he unionized all the tarantulas. And he said, boys, let's 2-piece out of here. They're cool. And they ended up just kind of crawling away, actually. So we only had to like brush a few away. And it's like they sent a signal. They're like, we're moving, onto the next dig hole, and that's what happened. It was pretty cool. So,
hey, Matt says, hey guys, hey Lucca, Jarvis is still talking about your day together from Matt's Custom Fabrication.
Yes, we went high banking with him. He has a really cool high banker. He's going to be coming out here shortly with. It's version 3 or 4 now. We had version 3 out there, but I think he's doing some modifications I can't talk about because it's his baby. But he's doing some additional modifications and testing right now before he's going to start throwing a few out there on the market for people to kind of pick up and test. But we went out with him and his son Jarvis. And he's the one who actually was driving over the trees. And then his son Jarvis was the one helping Lucca build forts and everything. And they were just, I mean, it was
awesome, man. Yeah.
It was amazing.
Sounds like good people, dude.
Oh, yeah.
Amazing people. Yeah. No, it was a great time.
Very nice.
Yeah, they picked us up. They drove us. We didn't have to do any driving. It was incredible. So, yeah, no, it was good times. All right. So, Matt is really cool, and he can drive through rivets and divots and over trees, and I can't do that. I fall into them. So we're going to talk about your second scariest story, Lucca, of me falling into a ditch with the truck on my birthday in 2022, I think it was, and trying to wreck the truck. So here are the pictures. Talk about it, Lucca. Let's go.
It was very terrifying because like there was just massive divots in the road, and me and Finn are in the back, and we're playing on our tablets, and then all of a sudden the truck just goes, and Dad's yelling, "Get out of the car! Get out of the car!" And I can't open the door, so then Dad's like opening the door, and we're trying to get out, and then we just get to the side far away from the truck. And we're just watching Dad grab all the rocks, trying to lift it out. And then we're just helping him. And then we're just trying to be like, oh my gosh, what's going to happen? Because I was
You're way out there, right?
terrified.
Yeah.
Yeah. It was a very intense day. We just had huge rains in California and washed this huge divot. And the pictures don't do it justice, but I thought we were going to roll the truck. And so I couldn't even open the door to my side at all because it went right into the ground. So I had to crawl over the passenger side, climb out that way, and I'm trying to pull as much weight as possible because I'm thinking this truck's going to roll because it kept on,
it looks like it.
Yeah, it kept on slipping in further and further. But luckily, my skid bars, which you can kind of see there, caught it and kept us above ground.
Yeah, it kept. Yeah.
And so it kind of kept us from rolling. And so I was just putting my weight on, and Lucca unbuckled Finney. I was freaking out because I was like, "Oh my gosh, we're going to roll this truck, and they're going to be." So I yanked him out and said, "Get up the hill." And so what you don't see in that picture, and it kind of shows here, is that kind of open divot. That's me filling it in, but that open divot right there, it actually drops like a good 6 to 8 feet underneath it. So the crack goes like this, but then it's all underneath is all been washed out. And so what I thought we were good driving sort of near the edge, just that whole thing collapsed. And so that's when we dropped in.
Yeah.
And so then we spent about 2 hours just filling the whole thing with rocks and dirt from everywhere just because it was too low. Like you couldn't, I basically had to build around it so that the way the tires could lift up and over it.
So how close were you guys to serious trouble on this day? Was it?
It was 50-50. I would say we were more like 75% of rolling, but I think it could have been a lot worse.
It was like a 70-30.
Yeah.
70-30. The chance of dangerous is a 70.
Did he take you to McDonald's at least after this?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, there you go.
Yeah, I was gonna say I probably sweated so much that day just from pure anxiety, nervousness, and also I was like, oh gosh, I just wrecked my truck. I'm thinking I bent the frame, the tire's gonna pop. Dude, that thing drove fine afterwards. I was like, okay, this is impressive. This is impressive. I mean, I can barely get out of the ditches, and Matt's driving over trees. So I think trucks can handle a lot more than we give them credit for. So
definitely. Matt says, was a wicked day. Cheers, man, for hanging out. And Yosemite Pan, he wants to take you to a new spot.
Oh, Yosemite, I'm always down for that. You got to show me the gold results, though, and weigh it and tell me how many hours so that way I can calculate how much lazy digging I can do to make it worth it. So, and Hobo Rob says, what's up, Lucca? What's up, Chris? What's going on?
Hey.
Hey. All right. So it's enough talking right now, I feel like. I think it's the time for our segment that we like to call Crush or Flop.
Yeah. Let's hear it up. Yeah.
Woo! Woo!
All right. So what are we going to be crushing or flushing today, Lucca? It's not lamingtons.
It's lemingtons.
All right. So you guys might be wondering what a lemington is. It is an Australian cake made from squares of butter cake or sponge cake coated in an outer layer of chocolate sauce and rolled in coconut. This thin mixture is absorbed in the outside of the sponge cake and left to set, giving the cake a distinctive texture. I should be on like The Price is Right.
Yeah, that sounds good. Coconut? Oh man.
These things are bomb diggity. I'm not going to lie and say that we haven't tried these before because they're probably Lucca's favorite treat. So every time we go to the bakery, which is different, Jason. So desserts here, you don't just get desserts anywhere. You go to bakeries. Okay, so
Okay.
it's like a separate shop. They got and they all kind of specialize in different things and everything like that. You know, and the bakeries, oh man, they all got lamingtons. They're incredible. So. And what you see on the pictures is what we're going to be doing. So, Lucca,
Yeah, it looks identical.
let's show our bites right here. So, I'm pulling this out. See that yellow? And it's soft and spongy. Like, I mean, it's moist. It's definitely moist. And you get after it.
All right, boys.
Oh, that's so
Well, I feel left out, so I'm going to finish my taco. Okay.
Taco Tuesday in America right now.
Guys can see my fish taco. That's what I'm going to eat right now.
Those are homemade too.
Those are homemade.
Wow. That's fancy.
I can't stop eating.
Right.
Oh, it's so good.
Yosemite's, yeah, crush all day. I highly agree. Lucca, would you rate crush or flush?
Crush.
I would hope so, considering you eat them a lot. We are going with crush, guys. We are going with crush. These are quite delicious and incredible. So, oh my gosh.
Are we saying 10 out of 10 or is this like a 11 out of 10? Or
this is a 10 out of 10. Okay, I'm gonna give it a 9.5 out of 10 because Matt just Lucca, Matt just chimed in and he says there are jam-filled lamingtons. Have you tried a jam-filled one?
All right, this is a 1 out of 10. Jams are probably better.
All right, so that's what we got to try next is the jam lamingtons that are filled because I'm thinking that could take it and escalate to the next level. Ooh, one with a coconut filling would be amazing.
Oh.
When are we going to eat live kangaroo? That's what I mean, not live kangaroo, but you know.
So I actually had kangaroo steaks this weekend.
Did you?
Yes, fantastic. Barbecued
Really?
perfectly, seasoned. Oh yeah, it's incredible. It's just very particular how you have to like cook them. Like you can't overcook them. Is it
gamey or is it like weird? Or
no,
like
it's like steak. I mean, it was like
that makes sense.
It all depends on how you cook it, I guess. People said, and like how like thick the steak is can make it's. Just, I guess it's more tedious than a regular steak because just the thickness can throw it off, can undercook it or overcook it, you know, and then it can make it taste gamey, but also make it taste chewy. That's the biggest thing is the texture. So you can go from easy to, you know, melt in your mouth, kind of like like steak to then you're like chewing. Kim asked, have we had pavlova? I have actually, Kim. It's fantastic. Someone brought it to work one time, and it was incredible. Incredible. That's another Aussie dessert.
It's a meringue-based dessert. Yeah. Ooh, meringue-based.
What does it taste like, Dad?
It's just a yummy goodness. I'm not good at describing desserts because I'm not a dessert guy.
Pavlova is a meringue-based dessert originating in either Australia or New Zealand in the early 20th century. It was named after the Russian ballerina Anna Pavlova, taking the form of a cake-like circular block of baked meringue. Pavlova had a crisp crust and soft, light inside.
Oh,
sounds good.
Yes.
Yeah,
sounds very good.
Yeah, pretty incredible.
Yosemite Pan said he hasn't cleaned it yet, only worked in an hour and a half, so he doesn't have data for you yet, Chris, for your
I need to see ounces, Yosemite. Ounces. I would love to get ounces for 1.5 hours of work. No, we'll talk Yosemite's because I think I got some dates of availability in the near future before our big event. But that leads us to our announcements and Q&A. Of course, if you have questions for Lucca, please drop them in the comments.
I've got questions. In a second, I'll give him the questions.
Okay, let's first talk about, again, book 2 is out right now, people. It's available on Amazon.
Go out and get this book, okay? It's a great book.
It is. And guess what? He's one of the main characters. Lucca is. This is written about him. So we're going to read you guys a page here. We're really excited about it. Jason, take it away.
Finn hurriedly responds, "Yes, please. I'm starving."
Lucca nudges Conrad and says, he's always starving.
And with that, they headed to Conrad's, each holding a freshly caught fish.
Ooh.
Ooh, intrigue.
Let's eat fish. Here we go.
You definitely need to get that book if you haven't already. It's available. It's popping off. And one of the stars of the book is in this chat and on this video and on this live stream. So just saying. Right?
He's a legend. He is a legend.
That's me. That's me.
Right? Hey, good news for everybody who is attending the Family Fun Fossicking Day. We have maxed out capacity on it. That doesn't mean you still can't attend, but it kind of does. There is going to be a waiting list right now. So if people drop out, I can add you onto the list, but you need to send me an email at chris@chrisundertaking.com so I can add you to that waiting list because we are at full capacity. I'm really excited about that event. We have 3 events. There's going to be some emails coming out. And we got an event where we're doing the gold painting tours with Job. Then we're going to be going into learn how to classify. And I got a whole bag of treasures for every kid that they're going to be classifying and find all kinds of geodes and gems and skeletons in. And then we're going to find it with Mud and Muck, where we have mud and muck bins, and there's going to be an actual gold nugget in these mud and muck bins, as well as 3 golden rocks. And that gold nugget, if you find it, it's yours. And the 3 rocks, if you find one, we're going to be giving some giveaways there. And then I'd also like to give a huge shout out to oh God, I just blanked on names. Dustin. I know. I almost said someone else's name. Dustin, that gold rat. He is donating a river sluice to be given as our big giveaway prize at the end of the event. Yes, and he also hooked me up with a huge deal from Mind Lab for gold pans that are going to be given away at the event as well. Again, this is a free event. We're excited about it, and there'll be more details coming out. And a really cool video, I think, going to show all the work that we're putting into it. And then lastly, the email newsletter, The Undertaking. If you want to follow everything that we're doing, you just want a snapshot instead of trying to track everything on social media, go to my website, sign up on the pop-up form. I send them out. I don't know when. I just send them out periodically now. You know, there's no set time or date or whenever I do it, but it'll kind of give you a snapshot of what we're up to and future free events. So make sure you sign up for that. And I'm going to turn it over to Jason for his question for Lucca.
All right. Well, I just figure since we have a gold prodigy here that I should test the gold prodigy. So I've got 5 questions for you, Lucca. You get them all right, everyone in the chat gets a car. So there's a lot riding on this, okay? We haven't specified what kind of car yet. Could be a used car, could be a brand new car, could be a toy car. It could be a Porsche, you know. I don't know if it's going to be red, we don't know. But here's your first question, okay? These are multiple choice. So I'm going to give you 3 possible choices, and then you have to guess A, B, or C, or just respond with the correct answer. Okay. So what is the chemical element symbol for gold on the periodic table? Is it A, AC, B, AU, or C, AR?
Oh.
The chemical symbol for gold, is it AC, AU, or AR? And
AC?
Seems like there's some sort of collaborating going on here. Is that your final answer, AC?
No.
No, that's not. Okay. Woo. We'll give you one phone a friend if you need it, or one phone a dad. So the answers are AC, AU, or AR, the chemical element symbol for gold on the periodic table. AC, AU, or AR?
AU?
Is that your final answer?
Yes.
You're correct! That's 1 for 1. Woo!
Nailed it.
We almost had to remove your title there, buddy. That was the easiest one.
Don't
okay.
You dare
Here
do
we
that
go.
Ever
I won't.
again. Don't
I won't.
say that.
Just
hey, remember,
you.
Hey, Lucca, it's on one of our shirts and sweatshirts, remember? The big golden,
yeah.
The big golden.
It's all right. You were playing coy. You knew it the whole time. Thanks for playing along. Here's number 2 for you. Okay. AU is the symbol for gold and derives from the Latin aurum, which translates as what? A, twinkling sun, B, bright light, or C, shining dawn?
Ooh, this is a
Twinkling
good one.
sun,
I do not know
bright
this one.
light, or shining dawn? If you know it in the chat too, feel free to shout it out. I will let you know if you were right. A, twinkling sun. B, bright light. C, shining dawn. This is the Latin term aurum from the symbol AU of gold. Twinkling sun, bright light, or shining dawn?
Shining dawn?
Is that your final answer?
Yes.
You're correct. That's 2 for
Yes!
2.
Yes!
Woo! All right.
Nailed it. I didn't know
That's
that one
pretty
either.
darn
That's
good. Okay.
incredible.
I was gonna say
All
bright
right.
light, but I was like, maybe it's shining dawn.
Shining dawn. Very good. I don't know if I would have got that right.
Restate that restate the answer and what it was
So
again. Sorry.
AU is the symbol for gold and derives from the Latin word aurum, A-U-R-U-M, sorry, which translates as, I don't know if I'm saying aurum or arum, which translates as twinkling sun, bright light, or shining dawn. And you got it right. The shining dawn.
That makes sense now
C.
because there's actually a really popular guy in Europe who his name his handle, social media handle, is Aram Bavaria or something like that.
Oh,
And
there
so
you
that
go. So he, yeah, there you
yeah,
go.
now
We were
that
learning
makes
about
sense.
gold.
Wow.
And
I learned about
Yosemite
gold.
Pan said C, he is also correct. Yosemite Sam, you are on fire as well.
You
Number
win a car.
3. You ready? You ready, Lucca?
Mm-hmm.
What year was the Californian gold rush? Was it A, 1848, B, 1864, or C, 1836? A, 1848, B, 1864, and C, 1836. Please don't look at your father. Use your heart. Use your mind.
Is it A?
1848? Is that your
Yes.
final answer?
Yes.
That's correct!
Yes! I got the
3 for 3. You're on fire. Woo!
Two
Right
more
now,
to go.
the chat is excited because if you get 2 more to go, everyone in the chat is getting a car, okay? Just send your email to Chris and he'll make sure it happens, okay? Yosemite Pan got it right with A as well.
Hey,
All
Stumpy
right.
Picks, that's Dan right there. Dan's a
Woo.
man. I'll talk
What's
about
up,
him in a
Dan?
second after we're done with these next 2 questions. But he was
Okay.
he was huge.
The next
this
2
weekend.
are going to get a little tougher, maybe.
No.
We'll see. This is a true or false, okay?
Oh.
True or false? Is it rarer to find a 1-ounce nugget of gold than a 5-carat diamond? Is it rarer, true or false, to find a 1-ounce nugget of gold or over a 1-carat diamond? Does that make sense?
It does.
I'm going to say.
Is it true or false? Is it more rare
True.
to
I'm
find a
saying
1-ounce nugget of gold or a 5-carat diamond? Yes or no?
True.
True? Is that your final answer?
Yes.
I'm sorry, we didn't hear you. Was that, did you say yes?
Yes. Okay.
That's correct!
Oh!
We're 4 for 4. We've got 2. Stumpy and Yosemite also got it. It is more rare to find a 1-ounce nugget than a 5-carat diamond. You are correct.
That's
And
crazy.
finally, woo, number 5. This will win the car for everyone in the chat. Lucca, you'll be a legend if you get this right, okay? Number 5. What is, so this is an A, B, or C. What is the single biggest use for gold? Is it A, jewelry, B, investments, or C, electronics?
Ooh.
What is the single biggest use for gold? A, jewelry, B, investments, and C, electronics.
Wow.
We're going to
That's an
give you
impressive question.
30 seconds to respond.
I don't know if it could be jewelry or investments. I don't know.
This is an impressive question.
I'm gonna say investments.
You can look at the chat, but it's gonna be your final answer that matters.
Dan, Matt, and Yosemite say electronics.
I'm gonna say investments.
No, Luca, listen to me. You see what I say? Stumpy picks, Matt, and Yosemite's. Look at the chat. All say electronics.
What is the biggest use
And
for
Josh
gold?
says C. 4 people
A,
are saying it's
jewelry.
C.
B, investments. Or C, electronics. Does he go on his own or does he follow the group? What does he do?
Electronics.
Is that your final answer?
Yes.
I'm sorry. That is wrong. The answer was jewelry.
Really?
We almost had a car. For details,
I was gonna
49%
say
of all gold is used for jewelry. A, jewelry.
Wow.
So close, Luca.
I was
You're
on a 4
almost
streak
a
right
legend.
there. I got all 4 right.
That's
I know.
an impressive
I was
question.
doing good.
I
I was
really
doing
didn't
good.
know.
Yeah.
I know.
Well, we'll play this again sometime. We'll make it a
I was
little
gonna say,
segment, but
love it.
very nicely done. 4 out of 5 is excellent, Luca. You've retained your Gold Prodigy title until next time. Yeah. Josh got it.
Matt's like, oh gosh darn it, I need a new car after that tree. Oh, that's too funny. So huge shout out to Dan. I know he's working probably on a roof right now doing some kind of plumbing at a pub, if I had to guess. But huge shout out to him. He literally spent the whole day, digging for me and my wife and showing us how to metal detect using our new Axiom Garrett instead of himself metal detecting, which when he did metal detect, he found a gold nugget within 5 minutes and then literally put us right on top of the gold after that, where I got 2 of them in his spot basically. But it was the most amazing experience, Dan. I appreciate you so much. That was awesome and made for a good experience out in the woods. And my wife just talks about it all the time. So, I mean, he was literally my personal digger, Jason. And I will tell you right now, Jason, I was wrong about metal detecting. I am admitting it. I'm throwing it out there. This is controversy has been laid to rest. I thought metal detecting was for old people because you're swinging around a light stick and you're not doing much else. That was oh my gosh, a workout of a lifetime. And I barely did anything. Yeah.
Yeah.
Dan did it all. He was the one pickaxing like a mofo. And I mean, he gave me his stumpy picks he's known for, which are these really nice picks that are really high grade and everything. And I appreciate that. But holy cow, it was insane. It was insane, man. I was so sore after that. Like, and he would just sit there and dig up, and then he would watch me. He's like, I'd be like, I got it, and I'd be like in there in the hole for like maybe 30 seconds, and I'm already gasping, but I'm like, I'm an American, I gotta be tough, And then he's like, get out of the way. He just gets in there, like, I was like,
so it's crazy. A little more difficult than it looks, huh?
It's way more difficult than it looks because you're always going down and you're not always finding gold, so you're finding metal, different things, and so it's just a lot of time of it's just patience, and you're listening for the littlest warble in like, the sound. Yeah, so you're just like, and the 2 pieces we found, we almost moved on from because we were like, I don't know if there's something, and we just stuck with it. And Matt's like, no, let's just, or Dan was like, no, let's just keep sticking with it. And he kept on just slowly. We just started taking layer after layer off, and it just started getting
kind of narrowing it in.
Narrowing it in, and it was just a cool experience to see it all and just see.
Hi, Elaine. Welcome.
Hi.
Hey,
Elaine.
Yeah,
she's newly engaged. Congratulations,
Auntie Elaine, on your engagement.
Yeah, it's exciting.
It is exciting.
Well, I'm glad I stumped everyone on that last question too. That made me feel good inside. So I'll make sure to keep those questions tough, Luca, for the next victims of that game. So
I honestly thought it was electronics as well, Luca.
I was thinking about it. I was like, it might be jewels, but I was also thinking like people also. I've seen a lot of diamond jewelry, so I was like,
yeah, 100%.
It's a fair. There's fair arguments to be made. So
yeah.
Anyways.
All right, we want to thank everybody for joining us. We're going to wrap this up. It has almost been an hour now. So I appreciate Lucca for jumping on, taking time out of your school holiday with all the fun that's going on around
what a champion.
Are you kidding me? This was so fun. I'm
Perfect.
glad I took out part of my holiday for this. This is so much fun.
Perfect.
Well, hey, buddy, I'm impressed with you. I'm impressed with just you getting to a new country with your attitude. It seems like you're just digging in and living life, and you've got the spirit of your dad. And I'm really impressed with you guys making a awesome situation out of Australia. Which something takes a lot of inner strength to do. So, congrats to you both for doing such a great job over there and making so many friends.
Thank you.
Yeah, you're
Yeah.
welcome.
No, it was amazing, and Luca, I'll give you that $5 for saying all those nice things at the end. So,
Yeah, and I'll send you that toy car. Okay.
All right. Yeah.
Okay. All
Thank
right,
you
guys.
again,
We'll see y'all
Jason.
next time, guys. Yeah, thanks for having
I
me.
had so much
Yeah.
fun.
Yeah.
All right.
We'll see you
See
guys
y'all
all
in a couple
later.
weeks.
Sounds
See
good.
ya.